Kerrit Podcast. Podcast, good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us.
What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them.
Crunch. Hey.
So Kevin and I started recording, and then thankfully it wasn't too much, but he noticed that we weren't recording. So this is the second attempt. It was that thing where you have everything all set up, you get everything ready, the microphone's working, because there's a previous episode where I didn't have that one working, and I got the headphones in, and everything's good. I got my little fan thing under the computer so it doesn't stay on the blanket and, just start getting hot.
Oh, right. I thought you said stain the blanket. I was like, oh.
No, stay on. And then I got my coffee and my LaCroix in the background, and I got my phone timer on, and then I didn't hit record. It's all those things, and then you don't do that. The most important thing.
I was actually going to say it's the least important part, because ultimately, recording, we're going to forget everything,
Mm-hmm. What is that?
I don't know where I'm going with that. These are cards.
Oh. So Kevin's going to shuffle? Oh, God.
So that's what I'll be doing for tonight. We're actually just going to be doing a shuffle. It's called the Kerrit Shuffle Edition. And you think it's about...
Well, Kevin's gone. And, oh, no. He moved his computer and the Ethernet went out. That's exactly what happened. Maybe he'll come back. Who knows? Well, in the meantime, I'm going to drink my coffee, and it's just the right temperature. Kevin's gone, and it's so funny. So people on YouTube, you're getting a completely different experience than the people listening, and the people listening, I mean, that is also true for you. You're getting a completely different experience. So people on YouTube just see a frozen Kevin right now. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, I could double up my video and just put it over him. That's a lot of editing. And now it's just my face. Now it's just, that's it. Now it's just me in a big thing. Oh, boy. Well, here's a fade, and then we'll get into him. He'll be back. There you are. Oh my god!
I plugged in the Ethernet cable, so
I forgot to hit record, and you forgot to plug in the Ethernet.
Let's start over. It's election night, so that's why these things are happening. We're fumbling like Ezekiel Elliott, which is a football reference. So we got that out of the way. He's having a rough year with that.
Oh boy. How is my fantasy league doing? I have not checked.
You beat me this week, you mother effer.
I haven't checked it this week. I just checked to make sure. No, I shouldn't, because I just won without checking.
You're literally number 1 in the league out of 12, so
dude,
you should.
It's so funny. What is that? $80?
Yeah. No, it's like 70. It's really not that much.
Not worth it.
It's worth it. It's for funsies.
I'm totally kidding.
For God's sake, my computer. Can you see me still?
Yeah, I can.
I'm going to have to shut my computer because my screen went black. So, excuse me.
Oh, no. Kevin's gone again. His dick. Kidding. Now he's gone again. This might be... And he's still here.
Hang on a sec. This might have reset it. My computer does this.
It's so weird.
It will... And I'm back. I can see again. My computer will go black. And my IT gentleman suggests that I need to turn it off and on again.
They always say
more
that.
Frequently, which I mean, I do it to an extent. It's an older computer. I didn't do it today, and I honestly don't think I did it yesterday. But I don't know. I forget, and it's a goddamn computer. Fucking,
See, I make the same mistake where I always put mine to sleep. I put it down, and then it starts running slower, and then when I just assume like, oh, it just needs a rest or something like that. It's like, no, you idiot! You just put it down, so it already slept, and so you have to shut it off and and turn it back on again. But I'll have an issue where like my camera just won't work, So like I'll try to zoom and then the camera's not working and I'm like, motherfucker. So I just turn it off and turn it on again and then it starts working. So there's that.
I mean, that's basically all you do at this stage. It's not rocket science, unfortunately.
It is an
If it
old
were,
computer,
it would probably
though.
work faster. Yeah, so.
What is
Old
it?
computers kind of drop the ball here and there, for sure.
Well, I'm trying to find out what year this is. Mac, it's a 13-inch. Oh, mid 2012. I have a 2012 computer, and it still is just amazing. It has 8 gigs of RAM, and I think I bought it for $450.
That's not bad, right?
It's pretty great. It had 2. I bought it because it had 2 hard drives in it, so it's like a ton of space. There's one It's 750 gigabytes of space.
That's almost a terabyte.
I know. They took out the disk drive and then they put in a hard drive instead. So now it's a modified computer I got on.
But now you don't have a
Amazon.
disk.
I mean, I have a portable
External.
CD. I have an external Blu-ray, CD, DVD drive, burner, and ripper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Love
I
it.
have that. Yeah,
It's a way to be.
Pretty great.
Can you still get movies from the library?
I have not went to the library because of coronavirus, but I don't even know if they're open. I haven't checked.
That's what I'm curious. I think they are, but I don't know for sure.
I wouldn't trust it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, cases are skyrocketing. People are scared again. People are stocking up again.
but what about the
whatever.
economy, Kevin? I mean, the economy's so good, even though the
Swinging
stock
back
market
because there's a
crashes.
projected Biden win, so hopefully that stays.
It's so funny. The stock market would be terrible with Biden. Really? Because it seems like every time you say 2 fucking words, the stock market plummets. And that's not even a real measure of the economy, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. So I feel, at least in my case, I'm trying to keep my mind off that for a little bit. I mean, this episode's going to be an hour or so, and it'll be an hour of bliss because it is needed at a time like this.
Kev, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I'm just kind of,
I'm just going to interrupt you. I'm just going to interrupt you to ask you to keep going.
Oh, okay. To keep going, like, just about it, or about anything, or?
I mean, whatever you were saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I just, just not feeling to...
Hold on. What were you going to say?
I see where this is going.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll switch the topic here for a quick second. I have an idea for an episode we can do.
Oh,
but
in the future?
I don't
or
know.
this
Are we
one?
allowed to talk? We can do a future episode or this. It doesn't matter. Future, this one, doesn't matter.
I mean, is there a future? That's the question.
There is. Regardless, there will be.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I know you don't drink, and that's okay. Obviously, that's great, even. But
almost 3 years, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it is. So I don't know. Maybe this is like a rude question.
No, go ahead.
But I was actually wondering if there was like we could do a list of movies that are really fun to watch while either drinking or like stoned. Like specifically, you're like, this is my go-to movie that I would watch if I were inebriated.
That's
like,
fun.
do you remember anything like that you might have?
For me, drinking, I never wanted to watch a movie. But for me, like high or anything like that, yeah, there's movies or there's like memories that I have of being high and like watching a movie and loving it.
Yeah, like which one?
Movie 43.
Oh, well, this has been fun. This has been the Kerrit Podcast, everybody.
Didn't you and I see that together?
I think we did, actually. So movie 43, for those unaware, is like the worst movie ever made. And it has an all-star cast. It's basically a series of vignettes that are all tied together by Dennis Quaid's movie producer who's pitching these ideas.
Yeah.
And one of them is Hugh Jackman with balls on his chin. And
I mean, it's a meta movie. It's a crazy person like taking someone hostage to pitch movie ideas to them. And the idea that it's Dennis Quaid and not Randy Quaid is pretty on the nose. I mean,
true.
Randy would have been the fucking crazy one, but it's the worst ideas for movies possible, but I think that's why it's so endearing. And I loved it so much when I was high, and that movie is critically and audience-wise panned. They hate it. So.
I tried watching the segment where he has the balls on his chin, and also the one with Liev Schreiber and Naomi Watts. They're trying to they homeschool their kid, and they try to put him through the typical high school experience by like bullying him or hitting on him.
I remember that.
And that one's kind of funny, but like the one with Hugh Jackman's balls on the chin, the whole joke literally is he's on a date with Kate Winslet, and she's the only one who sees that he has balls on his face.
Yeah,
which like is kind of funny because it's like Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet, but it's like a segment that goes on for a solid 5 or 6 minutes, and it's just the one joke, so it's just kind of like, I don't know.
I think I looked at that movie as, I think it's because I was high, but it's like everything was just funnier because of that. But secondly, if you look at that movie from the standpoint of, this is all being dictated through Dennis Quaid, like, it's so...
Just like, look...
Yeah,
there's Hugh Jackman, and he's got balls on his chin.
And I kept going back to that. I'm like, the actual movie is him explaining the story. This is so funny. I just remember that was probably my... I mean, there's that, and there's also Hope Springs when I farted during the movie.
I love how all of these times it's like I have like a free ticket, and I'm like, come with me to the movies. We'll smoke a joint and watch these movies.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, there's other movies like, I can't remember. I mean, it's no... What about you? Give me.
It's been a while. I mean, I guess I was thinking about this today, and I forget why. I don't know. You know how your brain is. It's like, well, I'm sure there's a movie metaphor out there where your memory is fragmented and it just randomly pops up, and you're just like, I remember that good time.
Memento.
But for me, yeah, right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's go with Memento. And so, for me, it was Django Unchained is what I was thinking of. It's a movie where I don't think it's the greatest movie of all time. I don't think it's Tarantino's best movie of all time, but it just is a movie that I don't think is even, I think it's I didn't like it when it came out that much. I kind of liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was easily one of his worst ones, honestly.
I remember you saying that and thinking you're crazy. I did just rewatch it during lockdown, and I love that movie. Love Lockdown.
For me, oh goodness, that's a Kanye.
I voted for him.
Reference. Was he on the ballot in Michigan?
No, of course not.
He was on the ballot here in Minnesota. So that was fun.
So dumb. Anyway.
Yeah, but no, see, I think because I didn't like it that much the first time, I watched it a lot in college because it was always on HBO, and we randomly got that in the apartment that I was staying at. So I'd be hanging out with my friends who would just be on, and we'd be watching it. Same with the first Avengers movie. Like, I watched those movies so many times. And it was one of those things where it got better each time I saw it. And now that I have it, I do kind of like it. And so if I happen to be excessively inebriated and I feel like staying up, I see that on the shelf and I'm like, that's that one Tarantino movie that I don't like that much. I'm going to watch it and see if I like it better this time. And then it's like the forgotten Tarantino movie for me, even though it's obviously super popular and won several awards.
Yeah. I mean,
so I always end up popping that in.
I really do love that movie. I think it's super funny, and it's like it's another step of him like evolving into what would become like the scene. I think the best example is like going back in time to explain like the masks that they were or the hoods that the KKK were wearing, and then it goes forward into time, and then it's like, how do people see in these and then they all fucking fall over each other. I think it is so funny, and I think it's a great example of like it's so Tarantino, and like I mean Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like the scene at the ranch, I fucking love that scene, and I think that couldn't have existed without that kind of thing, or that scene, but then also the Bruce Lee story,
right, where I think kind of goes back in time a little bit.
Yeah, But it's like, it's just for a joke. It's literally going back just for a joke. And the joke is, hey, they're falling over each other. And then in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the joke is, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's fucking, it's
I can
so
see why
great.
he wouldn't want me.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there a flashback within a flashback in that movie? Isn't that where he's talking to Kurt Russell?
Yes.
And then it flashes back to him on the boat with his wife, and then it flashes forward again to him in the moment with Bruce Lee, and then it flashes forward to the present day again.
Well, the present day is him on the roof.
On the roof, yeah.
And then going back to, how did he get fired? And then going back to the event of him fucking with Bruce Lee. Or coming back, something like that. But yeah, there's also a flashback to his wife. But I think that's during?
It might be later. I can't remember if it's during or later.
I really can't remember. I need to watch that again. But that's a movie I would get stoned and watch.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that was a movie. Because like, I always think of the scene where it's near the beginning. First of all, the beginning is great. Like it's one of those movies I still don't think is like amazing. I don't know. It tries a little too hard to be a little like Tarantino to me.
Django, we're talking?
Yeah, and it's kind of paced a little weirdly still, where it like all of a sudden it just changes movies halfway through, which I think can be looked at as either a positive or a negative. And for me, it's very much in the middle. It's in the middle. I mean, it's I don't know. I keep knocking my mouse off the table.
Did you like Hateful Eight?
I did like Hateful Eight. At the time, I liked Hateful Eight more than Django because I was expecting less by the time I walked in.
Yeah.
Because of Django, and it was just kind of like a solid movie. Mm-hmm. And I loved the opening shot and the opening scene with the Ennio Morricone score was very nice. I actually just rewatched all of Sergio Leone's westerns, which is highly recommended.
That's a lot.
There's 4 of them. It's not too bad. It's not too hard.
What are they? They're Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A Fistful of Dollars.
For a few dollars more.
Yep.
And then Once Upon a Time in the West.
That's right.
So 3 of those are on Amazon Prime. And I have the one that's missing, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, on Blu-ray.
How's that Blu-ray look?
It's great. It's great. It is. I mean, it was such a great experience because I have a brand new TV. It's huge. I was just talking to my mom about this, I never understood streaming at home, like releasing a movie and then purchasing it for an exorbitant amount of money so you can stream it in your home instead of going to the theater.
Yeah.
And then, but now that I have this 65-inch TV, I'm like, damn, someone needs to buy No Time to Die and release it because I'm set. Like, I am good to go on watching that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch something on my computer and just lay in bed and then put the computer here so then it's like a big screen in my face. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I have the headphones. I'll throw those on and I'm in my own fucking world. It's pretty great.
I used to do that all the time in Argentina. I know that's a really random memory, but because I shared a room with somebody, so like to kind of get over the whole homesickness or like being in a new world, I would just be like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I have nothing to do. Time to Netflix and throw the headphones on, and it kind of returned me to an area of normalcy.
But you got that TV. I mean, Jackie has a TV. I don't know what size it is. I'm looking at it right now, but 42 maybe.
42. Okay.
It's a really nice TV, and I would say it's the nicest TV that I've ever been a part of.
What brand is it? That I've been a part of.
I mean, I don't own it. It's her. She bought it. So.
Right.
I mean, I still would have like a fucking TV with a VCR in it if it was. I mean, if it was up to me.
It's weird how technology progresses and leaves you behind a little bit. I mean, even at our age, I'm just kind of like, man, I haven't bought a TV in like literally. I don't think I've ever bought a TV for myself. I have a hand-me-down TV from like 2008, I think.
I have never bought a TV. They've all been handed down to me.
Yeah. So this is like the first big purchase I made, and it's been paying dividends. It's like the Mandalorian came out. Watching the Mandalorian,
I know.
This thing, it's just like, wow, okay.
I'll see if Jackie wants to start watching season 2, because we finished season 1 during the first part of quarantine, and then and now we're still in it, and season 2 has come out. So
right. Well, the first episode has.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is a show that I am still watching. I'm on episode, I think I have 2 episodes to go in the first season. And it's funny because like as it was coming out, I didn't have Disney Plus. I wasn't going to get it. I wasn't really downloading anything at the time because I didn't really have a venue to watch it comfortably, and I wasn't even that interested for some reason, despite all the good things I heard.
It's because of all the shit Star Wars that came out. Can we talk about Star Wars?
Yeah, I was like, I'm done, I guess, for a little while. Like, I'm sure it's good, whatever. But then when I finally started watching it, like I watched the first 2 episodes, I was like, this is pretty good. And then I just didn't watch it. And the more time that passed, the more I was like, I got it. What am I going to do? Like, do I have to start over? Like, normally people watch them all in a row relatively quickly, either binging or like, you know, one every day or one every other day, whatever. So months would pass, and then I would put on an episode and be like, oh, that was pretty good. And then I would like lose interest again because I wasn't in the rhythm of watching it, and it didn't grab my attention enough to watch it all at once. But I don't know. Yesterday I knocked out 2 episodes. I have 2 episodes left, and I'm like, this is a good show. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what I'm missing. It's good. It's fun. It's good. I'm like, damn. All right, sweet.
It is great.
Bill Burr is in it. Like, come on.
I know.
I forgot about that.
It feels like Star Wars, and they also use that new technology. It's not new. I mean, Oblivion did it, but it's like the projected hologram or whatever behind you, and the cameras are fixed. Do you know this about the making of?
No, not at all.
Oh my god, I'm gonna blow your mind. I've learned this from Corridor Crew. If you guys want to check out like visual effects artists and stuntmen reacting to those clips and stuff, it's fantastic. But they talk about visual effects of Mandalorian, and one of the things that they do is it's not like a blue screen or a green screen. It's a projected image behind the actors. So they're in an open environment. It's a building, or they're outside, or you know, it's a closed off environment. But they project everything behind them. So what is captured in the camera is it's moving to reflect what the camera is seeing. I don't know how to explain it other than to show you, but they did the same thing with Oblivion. So what would be, which is a Tom Cruise movie, your good friend Tom Cruise. It would be an image projected, and then it was filmed, all this stuff, so the sun would set and the sun would rise. If you've seen the movie, but it's like you feel like you're in an actual environment, and when you watch the movie, it's really convincing, and that's what they did with Mandalorian as well.
That's so interesting. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how that would even work. It's almost like it sounds to me like what you're describing is like. I mean, I know this is ridiculous, but you know how people have like I think Snapchat does this, where it looks like you're in a new environment. Is that what it is? There are like certain apps out there that you can film yourself and make it look like you're in a new environment, and it looks decent for the app. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's a very similar thing to you know, King Kong, the original King Kong, where it's like the Fay Ray's in the tree screaming about the dinosaur and King Kong fighting, but what she's actually looking at is like just a projected image behind her. So they're projecting the movie. But the thing is, the camera is static. It's not moving. It's right there. So what she's seeing is like just a video behind her. Not video, but you know what I mean.
Right.
This is like the camera can move, and as it moves, the image changes.
Because it's digital.
Because
so it's able
digital.
To do that.
It's pretty fucking amazing. Maybe,
that is cool.
Maybe you guys, if I had time, maybe you guys saw a video, just go in here to explain it while I'm talking about it, but maybe you didn't. I don't know.
And maybe you didn't. You did or you didn't, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You can look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
You got enough time. Pause this video, go look at what I'm talking about, because I'm right.
We're in the second wave, or is it the first wave, except for it has continued?
It's I've been saying third wave because I don't see. I mean, the thing with the whole thing is the thing with the whole thing.
Wow.
The thing with the whole thing.
That's the title.
It is.
The thing with the whole thing.
that's the second sequel. The thing with the whole thing is John Carpenter's The Thing with the whole thing is coming this summer.
For some reason, this summer. It's a winter movie, but it's coming out in the summer.
I mean, didn't it come out in the summer? Or no?
I think it did, actually. I think I feel like it did.
The thing is, what was I even talking about?
We were talking about the thing with the thing. The thing with the whole thing.
But we were talking about movies, and then because we
were
always
talking
are.
about projection.
Oh, third wave.
Third wave.
The thing with the whole thing is it's different from state to state. So, Michigan, we're in our third wave. And then there's other states where it's like it's gone up. It's spiking everywhere. So now we're like on the same page, but it depends on what wave we're in. Like, I mean, some states didn't even have it until, fucking June, because people were like starting to travel here and there. So then it started spiking there. So they
especially
never
in, like, the rural areas.
Yeah. So now it's going up in New York as well, even though that was like one of the first places that it was tamped down.
That was rough.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I've been predicting all of this, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then the other movie that I was thinking of while I was drinking is, for me personally, it would be Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. Now, I know what you're thinking, 3 listeners out there. Why is it that one specifically?
We have many more than 3 now.
Yeah, those 32 listeners. Actually, don't know how many.
I'd say 40.
That's not bad. I'll take 40. Hi, guys.
You squeaked when you said that. That's not bad.
I'm sorry. I'm going through changes. So the reason, though, is I don't know if you feel like this or if anyone else feels like this. I think I may have even described this because we have like 70 episodes, so I don't know. But it's that feeling you get when you're like such a fan of something, you're so excited for something, that when it finally comes out and when you finally have it, you can't believe you have it. When I was a kid, that movie was Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire.
Wow.
I bought it on DVD. I was like 11 or 12 or whatever, and I was like, I can't believe I have this. And I would watch it like all the time just because it was like, that's a good movie. I can't believe I actually own that. Like, it's out already. That's such a good movie. And so it's that sort of feeling where I can't believe the series has such longevity. And I get the 4th one existing because it's like, okay, we'll try to revitalize the franchise after the 3rd one. And it's been like 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. But then the 5th one comes out and you're like, They're not making a 5th one though, right? Like, come on, they did amazing. They're done, and then it comes out, and it's like it's still amazing.
Yeah.
And then I just pop it in, and the whole time I'm just like, they topped this with Fallout. Fallout's better. Mm-hmm. Then you watch it. I want to watch it anyways because it's still so good.
Dude, it's crazy how good 4, 5, and 6 are for Mission Impossible. I mean, dude, we did something serial about the first 2. We need to do the rest of them.
Yeah, we do, especially because the 7th one will be coming out, I think, next year.
Will
maybe?
Anything come out? I mean,
it is filming.
I know I keep saying, but like Tenet didn't come out here, right? Or did it?
It did. Yeah, it came out in theaters, dude.
Okay, I didn't see it.
The issue you didn't hear about it is because a lot of theaters probably didn't play it near you. There were some theaters that played it near me, so it was technically officially released, but in how many theaters got it and in what regions got it was largely random.
Did it even play at IMAX theaters?
I really don't know. That's a good question.
Because it was shot in IMAX.
It definitely played at some IMAX theaters. I don't know if it played in Michigan or near you. And that's why the box office was incredibly low compared to what they were expecting.
I keep getting emails from AMC theater, or whatever.
They have lost so much money. I just saw an article about that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so funny to like. I really do hate to keep going back to talking about Corona, and we've been doing it for months now.
Well, it has been happening for months also.
That's the thing. It has been happening for months, and it didn't have to. This is completely unnecessary. So.
I mean, it certainly wouldn't have been as bad with proper precautions, all that stuff, all the things that have been established. I'll say this much, though, if you listen to earlier episodes that we recorded in like March, I think that both of us were full of more doom and gloom, and we have largely found acceptance, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm just a stay-at-home douche. That's what that's my job title now. So
you're a stay-at-home beard hair farmer. You farm beard hair, and it looks great. I can't wait until you shear it and make a quilt or
Ed Sheeran it.
Was that? Are you proud of that or?
Hey, I can still breathe.
I liked the part where that joke ended, like right after.
So a movie, yeah, Mission Impossible. Those are great. I think my favorite of those, for some weird reason, it's not a weird reason, I guess. I think it's just Ghost Protocol. Like, I will acknowledge that Fallout is the best one, but Ghost Protocol is the one that, like, we're watching something different. And
it's very tight.
It really is.
It's very tight in a good way.
I love how Brad Bird directed it, and the IMAX sequence. It never lets up, but it's the first one of those that's relentless. I love it.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird talking about this a little bit. I feel like if I am in that state of mind, which isn't all the time, obviously, that would be bad. I'm an adult. But it's also okay if that's what you do. Totally fine. I really don't care. But I always end up going to the classics, you know?
Yeah,
like
it's
throwing in a Mission Impossible, throwing in a James Bond, throwing in a Tarantino movie.
I was going to say that, James Bond.
Yeah.
It's very nostalgia-based.
Yeah, it is. And it makes you feel more nostalgic because of your heightened thoughts.
I guess I would get drunk and just watch, like... Dude, this is one that I rewatched during quarantine. Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, now that
I would love to watch that and Annihilation right after.
Ooh,
super.
Do we have to?
Super
Is
hammered.
Annihilation even worth it?
Dude, just to make fun of them. I mean, actually, I have a new appreciation for the original Mortal Kombat, but Annihilation is still just so much fun to just pick apart.
So bad.
It's
Jax.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I don't have as much nostalgic value attached to those movies because I think I've only seen them once, and that was with you.
Wow.
I just didn't grow up with them. Do you remember watching those together on VHS? I'm pretty sure.
I think we did when we were in like middle
7th grade,
high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we started hanging out again.
Right. Jeez. I'm just kidding.
That sounded like one of those things you snap on your wrist.
I'm sorry. I was just kidding. Aw.
Let's take a break.
Those snap wrists. Come here. Aw.
Is that your cat?
No, it's my lady friend.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't mean to call her out like a cat. He thought I was referring to the cat when I said come here.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Anyway, yes. Grade School, Saw. Great movie. There's a sequel in the can that was supposed to have been released, and we would have seen it by now. We could have talked about how Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson are in a Saw movie.
Oh, yeah, Saw. That's a good one. Well, I mean, did we get drunk and go to those movies? Paranormal Activity 2, I think we were high.
Oh, for sure. We were definitely... I mean, I would say for
most of those.
For like I want to say a 5-year period, every movie I went to with you guys, it's like, let's break out the pot, man.
It's just weird because it doesn't even sound appealing anymore. That's how old I've gotten. It doesn't sound
Movies?
fun. No. It doesn't sound fun to just like smoke weed and go see a movie, or
first of all,
hammered and see a movie.
Like the theaters are closed.
Well,
so that's one thing.
COVID aside, it just doesn't. I mean, you know what I mean?
Definitely be open to that. It depends on the context, I guess. Like, hey, if COVID weren't here, and if I had a friend over here, and we were gonna go see a specific cool movie, I would certainly entertain the idea.
I mean, you brought it up earlier, but it's probably because of my sobriety. So that's probably the reason that it doesn't seem...
Well, that does make sense.
Yeah.
I drifted away from that point. That makes sense.
But
I can
mean,
see both perspectives when you introduce that lens.
if my life went into shambles again, then I would probably just get drunk and high and.
You could be
I don't know,
Robert
watch-
Downey Jr. in Zodiac.
Dude, I would watch Zodiac drunk for sure.
No. You think so?
Not high, drunk for sure.
Oh, man. Either one would have me just dying on the inside.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You want a short movie because just
You don't need a short... I don't think you need a short movie. I think, like, for example, any of those... Like, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is 3 hours. Great movie to watch in either way.
Were you drunk?
Inebriated or high off your ass. Because it's just so good. And it's so classic. And it's
It
so
is.
old. It came out like 45 years ago. 50 years ago, actually.
And
like
Clint
53 years ago, yeah.
Clint Eastwood is still alive.
And he's still making movies. Part of the appeal for me watching his movies is like he was in his I think mid 30s when he was making those movies. Like he wasn't just starting out; he was a full grown adult. And it's so weird because it's the 60s. It's the middle of the 60s. Like when these movies came out, it's 1965. That's a long time ago, and you get to watch them and you get to see the seeds of a brand new, like, everything forming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Everything's not the right word, but I don't know. Genre, career, style.
They're called spaghetti westerns, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Because they're Italian westerns.
I'll have some in a little bit. Not yet, though.
He's gonna have some spaghetti in a little bit.
No, they're not spaghetti. What is it? They're squash. Heather made
Ooh.
squash. Is it good?
Aw.
Is it hot? I can't wait to have it. It has brown sugar in it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, not the movie.
There's a
There's
movie
a
called,
movie
Brown,
called
Sugar?
Brown Sugar. I think it's with Morris Chestnut. Does that make
That's
sense?
racist.
Is it hot?
It's good.
It looks hot.
Oh my god,
It's so
Kevin's
hot.
getting the airplane on the
It looks so hot. Look at it, it's steaming. You guys
blow
can't
on
see
it. Just blow on it 3 times.
I can feel it on my hand. It looks gross. I'll just eat it by myself if that's okay. Sorry. It's dripping.
Is it hot?
That's amazing. You know,
I mean,
a little hot.
I'm really happy that. Of course, it was hot. I'm really happy that that's how you get fed, and it wasn't like a baby bird situation. I was really afraid of that.
You don't think you don't think that was?
No, that was the airplane. That was
Oh.
going into the train, going into the tunnel. Oh, open wide.
That
it
is
wasn't,
better.
It wasn't like a Heather chews up the food and spits it into your mouth. Corona.
Oh, we only do that in the bedroom.
Well,
I'm
this has
joking.
been the Kerrit.
Oh, jeez.
This episode
Jazz.
is brought to you by gardening.
Ostriches? Oh, gardening.
The squash.
Why gardening? Oh. I was saying ostriches because it's a funny bird and they do the chewing thing.
Kev, I have not been on stage since June, and I'm definitely losing it.
Oh, don't worry. Well, actually, that sucks because I can understand that. Yeah, once you get to a certain point, it's just you need the refining. You need to be able to refine your abilities.
I think
So-
I think people think I'm going insane because I haven't gone up at all. Like a lot of people around here are like doing open mics and shit.
Why?
Because
Is that
they're-
indoors?
Some of them are, and then some are outdoors. But now it's getting colder, so I guess everyone's going in. But yeah, it blows my mind.
We
But
definitely
I haven't gone
a
out.
little. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, we see people eating indoors. We went to a brewery like 2 weekends ago, and I want to give you the lowdown so that you understand like kind of our level of comfort with those things. So we went for like a hike along the Mississippi River because the Mississippi River is
Yeah, it goes
the
through
dividing
Minnesota.
line between Minnesota and Wisconsin. And so I now live next to like a Mark Twain landmark. So just so everyone knows, kind of amazing. But whatever.
If you say N-word Jim during this, I'm gonna lose my place.
Hashtag election 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did that, and then we realized that had actually like driven across the bridge to, or at least we were really close to the bridge to St. Paul at that point. And so we went to St. Paul, and it was like 5 minutes away. It was like, great. We go to a brewery. We just chose one that we hadn't gone to before, and we thought it had outdoor seating. And it did. It had a bunch. When we got there, we were like, awesome, there's a bunch of outdoor seating. And each table had a fire in the middle, like a gas-powered fire. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. So we go inside, and it's not packed, but there are a bunch of people in there. Like, I wouldn't say packed, but still a decent amount of people. And so we're like, hey, can we like sit out there? Like, is that cool? And he's like, sure, I'll get you at a table. And so he gets us a table, and I'm just like, people, why are you inside? It's cold out, but there is like a fire here.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it worth it? And I just don't. The same thing happened this weekend. We went to another place, and they had the heaters where they're tall, and they're like have an umbrella, and then it showers heat on you. And we were like, there were people inside, and we were again like, dude, it's actually really nice out. Like, it's even warmer than it was 2 weeks ago when we did this. And that's the only time it works.
It's because it's so many reasons. Like, people think it's not going to get them. I'm going to be fine. And then also people, they want some semblance of what used to be. So they're eating inside. If they have a pick between eating inside and outside, we have not gone to a restaurant one time to eat there. We've gotten everything to go. I like going to pick it up. We'll get stuff delivered. But yeah, to go get food at Butcher's Union, that's a place in Grand Rapids here. You have to go in and you place the order, and then you go in and you go up to the bar, and then they take care of it. But it's like there's people sitting at the bar. It's the most nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Like, shoulder to shoulder, basically. And you're like, please, for the love of God, do not fucking sneeze or cough. Like, what is happening? I can't believe it. Everyone's so close. So I just grab the food and get the fuck out of there. But that's the most daring thing.
I see that too, and I don't get it. And we have gone out, I think, when it was summertime, I think we went out maybe 2 or 3 times to like an outdoor eatery situation. Other than that, it's been takeout. And then recently, we have ventured out to a couple breweries because the weather's been kind of nice. And like the hint of winter we got was like, okay, maybe we should try to hit an outdoor place before winter really gets in.
Yeah.
And kind of enjoy it a little bit as much as we can.
Well, I mean,
but it's
go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say it's just that's the extent of our level of comfort, and it works. It's kind of fun. It's kind of like a game almost. Like, hey, hang on, is this me?
Kevin's getting a call.
Oh, it is me. One moment, please.
Okay.
This is Kevin.
Okay, I don't think he can hear me. Can he?
Let's see here. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. And then I muted you, and that's why you couldn't hear me for a quick second.
I couldn't tell.
It was nobody. We get these calls sometimes. Sorry.
You muted. I couldn't tell if you had muted yourself, and then I was like, oh, I don't want him to hear me. Because I don't want him to fuck up the call.
I muted myself. I don't know. I would guess I meant to mute both of us. It doesn't matter. Either way, it was a robocall. And this is what the robot said. I will try you back later. Like, it was clipped and short.
I will try back later.
Yeah. That happens a lot. I love it when they're like, hi. Oh, sorry. Couldn't hear you there for a second.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's like, bitch, you called me.
I'm like, what are you doing? A robot, buddy. Like, that's how all your robot friends do it, too. Like, I know you guys are probably having conventions on how to call people, and you're all like, we will first begin with this recording, and they will believe it. And it's like, no, because you all decided to go to the same convention in Vegas, and you all decided to answer phones that way. And you're all morons.
Kevin, you just described a fantastic sketch. Hopefully someone steals that idea, but robocall training camp.
Yeah.
Like
Now-
a bunch of robots that go to a call, like to learn how to robocall. That's really
Right.
funny.
It starts them like, now what do we say when we answer the phone?
I'm sorry. What was your question? I didn't quite hear you. Now that's how you want to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
07219. That is perfect.
Now that's how you're going to want to pretend to answer the phone when they answer the phone.
And then you could do a whole one about like asking for money for the police calendar. Oh my God, that's what we get. I'm just like,
I haven't gotten a single.
Oh.
I don't answer my phone ever.
Oh
And
no, you're one of those people.
Yeah, because unless I know the
no.
number, unless I know the person calling, because it's always going to be either voting. It's a lot of voting shit.
It has been a lot of voting ones. I am excited for that to end, I must say, because it's like, dude, I voted already, and I probably I could have been like a voter overseer or whatever, but I did not become one. So
Yeah.
stop texting me.
I mean,
There's nothing else I can do.
I'm excited to vote in the next the midterm because. But I mean, I hope they don't text and call all the time and email about that until it gets closer to it. But
Right.
yeah, because that's the thing too, is like everyone. I keep seeing all these people that are like, well, hopefully Democrats still show up to the midterm elections, and it's like, I'm pretty sure everyone's very well versed about it now. Like, this has been. I mean, if anything, Trump has changed how we all look at voting and politics, and everyone is going, not everyone obviously, but a lot more people are going to be involved. And if you look at the 2018 midterms, those were record numbers of voters. So Democrats came out and turned a ton of seats.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up.
But that's because we had something to run against. And so if people keep up that same level of input and what's the word I'm looking for here? Awareness, then yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, technically, if people realize the error of their ways, we have a generation of highly motivated voters.
We do. I mean, TikTokers literally fudged the numbers for one of Trump's
Yeah, I mean,
super spreader events. They're all super spreader events. We had one yesterday in Grand Rapids and then in Muskegon this previous weekend. So
I did actually hear about that, and I was pretty disappointed from afar because those are my home places.
tell me about it. I'm living here, and
Yeah, right.
that's the thing too. Is like people are like, oh well, they're gonna be dead or whatever. You're like, it's been 7 months. How do you still not understand how this thing spreads? It's crazy.
Seriously, those people don't care, though, I don't think. I mean, truly, they're like, even if they believe it, first of all, they probably don't believe in it. And if they do, they're like, whatever, it's the flu or it's not a big deal.
No, I don't mean them. I mean like people who are like not in defense, but like it's always this thing of like, good, I hope they all die. Like because they catch corona at the thing. And it's like, yes, that's a thing that you can say, but also they can get it and spread it to anybody that they go encounter.
Right.
That's the whole issue
Right.
here.
Well,
it's
also,
been that way for 7 months.
Right. And yeah. So
people just still aren't getting that memo. Like, I'll say asymptomatic on a Facebook post, and they're like, yeah, but you can also not have it. And I'm like,
yeah, you're like, it's the same thing. You don't know.
wow,
No one knows. That's the whole...
cup half full for that dumb twat.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
let's take our minds off it again. This whole episode, if we've made it this far, we've not talked about Batman Forever, and it's been on purpose. I'm happy that we're able to just kind of get some feelings out and talk about movies that we like and when we're high and drunk.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Batman Forever now? Because I literally would.
Oh man, we have 10 minutes left of the episode.
Okay, we'll shove it all in and we'll call it Batman Forever Part 2.5. So 25%.
No, we haven't even done.
Now, we
part one.
realize that it's the best
no.
Batman movie in the very opening credits because all of a sudden you see the names fly by a la Christopher Reeve's Superman.
I did think
and you're
that.
like, we are in for a treat. And then that music swells and it doesn't say Batman. It just gives the symbol and then says forever. So it allows your mind to understand what that is. It allows you to interpret. And from then on, you are in for a roller coaster of a good time. Thanks for listening. That's Kerrit. Okay, bye.
I was really afraid that you were going to make 10 minutes of talking about this, and it's like, that's the episode.
Nah, we can wait. It is amazing. I love it. It's so good.
I will say that was, I mean, that
It's
was
good,
great.
right? It's so good.
I have so many things to talk about Batman Forever, but I genuinely think it's good now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch Batman and Robin to see
It's genuinely bad.
how genuinely bad it is. Like,
It's weird. Yeah, they just go so far off the deep end with all the great ideas they had for Forever. They went in the opposite direction and doubled down on the bad parts.
Yeah. But we'll get into that in the future. Before we go, because this has been about 50-some minutes, maybe 50 minutes.
Perfect. Just enough time for me to forget about what's happening. It is election day. Did I not say that already?
You did, and we bookended it now.
So many times. So many times. By the time this comes out, we will have known what will have happened.
Maybe. I mean, I think we should put this up this Thursday. It's most relevant. Yeah, let's do it.
Do we have
Perfect.
anyone? Do we have another one coming out? I thought
we do, but I think this is more relevant to right now, so we can put this
right, but
out.
is it going to be weird if they're out of order? Like,
No.
you know how some certain cartoons will have episodes out of order? And it's
Yeah, but it's
awkward?
like a break before we get to Batman Returns.
Oh, we
again.
are Batman Returns still. Okay.
Yeah, we're still in Batman Returns.
I have an
'Cause-
idea for the next Batman title.
Ooh, what?
Batman Again.
Okay.
Because you said again.
Just
now.
This is what I had planned it to be called. Hold on. Dark, Gothic, and a New Tone. Batman Returns Part 2.
Oh, that's the title of the episode.
Yeah.
No, what I meant was the title of the next Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yes.
if Joel Schumacher kept making them. Like he had
Batman-
already exhausted Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I mean, Batman and Robin is like the most Batman name you can think of aside from just Batman, I feel like.
Yeah.
Everyone refers to Batman and Robin as Batman and Robin. That's a terrible title for a movie, I have to say also.
It really is. Because it was Batman and Robin at the end of Batman Forever. Spoilers.
It literally, they should have been reversed. It should have been Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin and then Batman Forever. But
Yes.
that's
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. But yeah, no, the next one after that, it should have been like Batman Again. Like symbol, and then the letters turn and it says again.
I mean, that's a sketch. You're so good at that. No, didn't they? They had one. They had a script or whatever. Or
Batman
maybe
Triumphant
Batman Triumphant
with Kurt Russell.
Which Kurt Russell? Who was he playing?
He would have been Batman. He would have been Bruce Wayne. It would have been after Batman and Robin. It was in the scripting phase, and I don't know if he was attached, but he was definitely in mind because George Clooney wasn't coming back.
How old was he then?
Let's see, that would have been around the time Breakdown came out. He was in his 40s.
40s.
Yeah.
That's so strange. Unless they were going for a Dark Knight Returns thing.
He would have been good still. I mean, he has the jawline for it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been awesome. Let's be honest. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. He has such a tongue-in-cheek like character that he can play.
He really Big Trouble in Little China. I mean that I will. Let's end it with this. Big Trouble in Little China, one of the best movies of all time because it
Certainly.
is so fun. It's well written. It's outlandish. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's John
Crazy.
Carpenter. It's Kurt Russell. It's funny. I think I said that, but it's great drunk or high movie for sure.
Absolutely. There's so much going on in it. Mm-hmm. And Kurt Russell's just like, dude, just come along for the ride, and I'll be your driver. It's great.
I'll be your truck driver.
On the Pork Chop Express. It's wonderful.
I do. Yeah, I really like that movie. I would watch that again.
The fact that they didn't really work together, or they didn't make another sequel, because there were so many ideas for a Big Trouble in Little China sequel, and then an Escape from Earth third movie in
Yeah.
the Slick Plissken series. There's so many missed opportunities. They're not missed opportunities. They're just opportunities. I mean, I guess they're missed, but they're like they never were, like, or they were going to be, and then they kind of just deflated.
Like the third James Bond Timothy Dalton movie.
Yeah, like I genuinely cannot wait until we are able to access different universes in timelines, and then we can like use LimeWire to download movies from other dimensions. And
Like
one's
Rick and
gonna
Morty.
be Batman Triumphant. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Batman Triumphant. That's such a weird title.
Oh, it's awful. I mean, who knows how bad it would have been terrible, right?
It works for Vines 3,
Who would have been in the
Vine's triumphant.
I know, it's perfect for that. Do you mind? I don't want to spoil anything. I just need to see.
No, go ahead.
If there's any information on Batman Triumphant.
I'm going to look too. Both of our faces are going to be lit up with white screens. Oh, you know what's funny? I typed in Vine's triumphant.
Dude, there's still footage to that.
There is. I know I got to edit it. Oh, people have made like fan-made posters, which they all have George Clooney, so that's dumb.
That is weird.
And the Scarecrow from Batman Begins, dumb.
It looks like Batman Unchained was the initial draft title.
That's dumb.
Maybe we should wait on this, honestly. There's so many good little tidbits in here.
Yeah, we'll share that after we're done with Batman and Robin. We'll do a post that episode.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun to explore. You guys listening right now, watching, you just saw Kevin and I right on the fly. You're gonna get an extra couple episodes after we're done with Batman and Flobbin.
Oh my God! Yes, this looks amazing. God, if they'd made this, and now whatever. It is gone with the wind. I'll go back to Terra, and I'll not own slaves anymore. That's a Gone with the Wind reference. Don't cut that out.
I'll never be poor again.
Is that what it is? Yeah, that's what she says.
I think it's I'll never go hungry again.
That's what it is. Yep. I'll never go hungry again. And it's like, well, you're a terrible person. You've learned nothing.
She really is. She learned fucking nothing. And the hero of that movie is obviously her sister-in-law or something. Olivia de Havilland. Who does she play?
Yeah, her. It's not her sister-in-law. It's her cousin-in-law. Because Scarlett's in love with her cousin.
Yeah, she's in love with Ashley,
and that's normal back then, I guess.
Yeah.
But Ashley's like, nah, I'm gonna marry Olivia de Havilland because A, she has longevity. She's gonna be at least 100 before she dies.
And she died during quarantine.
Yeah, that's true. And B, she's not my cousin. I don't think. I don't really remember how much.
Well, it's because she's not related to Scarlett. But Scarlett is related to Ashley.
Ashley, right.
Whew. Anyway, yeah, I mean, she's the real hero of that fucking movie.
I mean, if anything, I don't really remember what her character arc is. I'm assuming she had one.
She died.
I know she died, but, did she learn anything along the way? That's the
she was always good. Like, she's like an angel of the movie. I remember watching it again. I'd say I watch Gone with the Wind maybe every 6 years.
Okay. I know that it's pretty dated, and I totally get why people would write it off because of the racist undertones. Mm-hmm. But as a piece of cinematic history, and I gotta say, it's very watchable.
Dude, I would say that, and I will also go this far as to it is such a great character study. I am so fascinated by the history of that point in time. And obviously it's not completely accurate, but I would rather watch that than Birth of a Nation. I will go on record saying I have never watched Birth of a Nation, and I am fine with dying and never having watched it.
I watched about 30 minutes of it. I have a weird relationship with silent movies. Sucks because
that's why you have a problem with it?
I mean, well, hear me out. It adds into this because silent movies for me, even though I'm a huge movie fan, a lot of times they're kind of hard to watch, and it might be because we're in sort of an Adderall generation thing where we're always, anything with bright lights and our phone and everything is distracting us, so it's even harder to maintain our attention with a silent movie, which is kind of a cop-out answer, especially if you claim to be a fan of movies. Mm-hmm. But
I agreed.
I've seen Nosferatu.
I agreed. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, whatever. Yeah. I don't care. They're stupid. Fuck them. I've seen Nosferatu. I've only seen a few. I could name all of them. That was really good. But I'm not planning on watching them again. And so I started generally I don't watch them again unless it's a Charlie Chaplin movie. His movies aged really well. I've seen 4 or 5, which again is not that much. So I don't have much of a basis to claim anything. But I did enjoy what I saw of his. But Birth of a Nation, I was watching it for 30 minutes. I was like, this is kind of fucked up. And I don't know if it's maintaining my attention, even though it's historic. and I just never finished it.
It's only historic because of the making of the movie and the reception to it. The movie itself, and I think like there's a big budget or whatever, but
see, that's what I always was interested in, was how big of the budget it was, how big it was at the time. It was kind of like on a road show, so it's like a traveling road show around the country. Those were the kind of things that appealed to me.
For sure. Yeah, it's like everything surrounding the movie itself, which is so fascinating. Like, that's the history. Watching the movie, if you guys don't know, Birth of a Nation is about how the slaves were the villains and the KKK were the heroes. That's basically all you need to
was
fucking
formed
know.
Also, I believe.
It was what?
I think it kind of shows how the KKK was formed.
Yes, it's the formation, and they're basically, like, the KKK has to take up arms to defeat these slaves who have been freed. And it's fucking insane. But there were a lot of people, like historical figures back then, like, oh, this is amazing, and this is a perfect, accurate representation. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. So when you watch a movie like Gone with the Wind, and then HBO has to put a disclaimer up, it's just like, yeah, I guess there should be a disclaimer, but also, thank God you don't show the actual really fucking racist movie, I guess. I mean, they both are.
I mean, I think even when Birth of a Nation came out, I feel like it garnered controversy for its
from people
insanity.
like people like you and I, if we were alive in the fucking 1900s or the early 1900s, because we were alive in the 1900s, 1990.
Kind of. I mean, we were.
The tail
Unless
end.
You're talking about like the actual 1900s, is that what it is? 1901, 2, 3, 4?
The 1900s. But I think that movie came out in what, 19?
I want to say 12, 15, 16, 17?
1917 maybe.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Around the time that Sam Mendes movie came out.
Shut up. D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation.
But he did another one right after that, which was called like oh jeez,
1915.
Okay. What was the other one? Intolerance? Was that the next one he came out with?
The Fall of a Nation.
No, Intolerance came out in 1916. That's the one I wanted to see.
Oh.
By him. It's crazy. It's like 4 different stories. One is in like ancient Rome. One's like with the devil. There's a bunch of crazy shit going on in it.
Huh.
Yeah. It was like 210 minutes. I just looked it up. So that's why
I didn't know about this. There is a movie called The Fall of a Nation, and it's a sequel to The Birth of a Nation.
No.
It was by hold on.
Thomas Dixon Jr.?
Yeah, it was a novel, and then apparently it was a movie too, or maybe it didn't get made.
It looks like it was. The movie was made. I'm just reading this, and it is a lost movie.
Yep, this film is considered lost with nothing more than a few frames surviving. The movie is the first sequel ever made, being a follow-up to The Birth of a Nation. Actually, isn't it called Birth of a Nation, not The Birth? And that's the whole reason that the new one was called
it is The Birth of a Nation.
The Birth of a Nation. I see it now.
Yep.
You're
talking about the one with Nate...
the rapist.
Was that ever proven?
No, I don't know.
Not to be that guy. If it was, that's great. If it wasn't, that's great too. It's not great if it was. It would be better if it didn't happen.
It's just if it was proven.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Anyway, I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but I think with silent movies, there is an affinity for them because of how early they were. I mean, they're obviously the predecessor of modern film, but also I think one of the things that makes them so boring to me is that every time a slide comes up that says the dialogue that these characters are saying, it takes me out of the movie completely. You have to rewire your mind to be there's going to be a title card. That's the thing for me, because now looking at movies now, it's you see the subtitles. You can read subtitles, and I think that's like you're not moving away from the actual picture. That's for me. I mean, I still love Nosferatu.
I can see what you mean. I think that because they're so intrinsic to what a silent movie is, there's such a part of its DNA. That doesn't bother me as much.
It just, I mean, if I'm watching like a Buster Keaton and the movie is like not supposed to be taken seriously, I guess. But like Charlie Chaplin, I mean, you mentioned this where they age so well, and I think it's because he was such a great
Physical comedian.
Physical comedian. So all the things are like they're played for jokes, and if there is like a title screen that says something, a title card,
it's like to set up something.
Yeah. And there is dialogue, so it's like it's meant to be funny and silly and goofy kinda. But if it's like a scary movie, like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and there's like a little thing that says, "No, stop," and you're like, how do I read this? Like, you're giving me nothing. So it's like something you have to look at from the perspective of those years. So you have to retrain your brain. It's just extra work. I think that's what I'm getting at.
I think there's some silent movies out there that are kind of funny where they will be talking and then they won't have a slide because it's kind of easily interpreted what they're trying to get across based on the emotion of the scene. Mm-hmm. And I do like that style. So,
So that goes along with my point.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. It does. I just think it's interesting to note that they kind of were aware of that a little bit. Like, it wasn't necessary to have every single piece of dialogue translated for an audience.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like it's ahead of its time. Like there's some movies where it's like, I know for a fact she's saying I love you to him, but then it's like, I love you, you big stud, and you're like, I didn't need to see that card at all.
Right.
They're like, well, we got to put that card in there because we have a beat with the orchestra. This is another thing that bears mentioning. Is that a phrase? Bears mentioning? There's bears repeating, but bears mentioning?
Bears mentioning. It's like, I think it is in Europe.
There's bears mentioning, bears repeating, and bears false witness.
And bears,
lions, tigers, and bears false witness. Oh my. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. Just kidding. It's very funny.
It's decent.
This bears mentioning. Music is basically interchangeable with these silent films. Isn't that crazy? Like, every new edition of a DVD or a Blu-ray that comes out, like Nosferatu or Journey to the Moon or Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, it's always like updated music, the lost score or something like that. Like, they've isolated the score and then added it back to the movie because it was like, this was the original. They just changed it out for subsequent releases before this, special edition remaster. And it's like, that's so crazy to me. Like, the whole intention of the movie was to make a movie, but then the soundtrack is just whatever, you can throw whatever music in. So it's like in the 30s it's different than the 50s, and then now it's like this was the original intent, and you're like, how did this get lost? Mm-hmm. So I think that's fascinating.
I mean, on the topic, I think it's crazy that they actually were able to have color in the reels. Like certain silent movies you'll watch have like a purple tint.
Yeah.
And it's like intentionally shot like that.
Yeah, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that's an example.
Yeah.
It's like a purple tinted, at least the copies that I've seen. I don't know if those are like intentional or if those are like...
I believe it was because I saw it. Oh, man, I forget what movie I was looking at.
Metropolis is like straight up black and white, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking of... I know it's not silent, but I know they shot some of it with silent footage, and that was Hell's Angels. Is that the Howard Hughes movie?
Yep, I own that one.
Where there are certain scenes where there's like a tint to it just because of the stock they used. Mm-hmm. Which is so weird to me. Like, you could have black and white photography, and then all of a sudden it's just purple. And it's not colored or anything. Like, that's just how it is processed or how it looks. It's weird. I
know Nosferatu, the one I saw of Cabinet of Dr. Caligari has like a purplish bluish tint, and then the one I saw of Nosferatu has like a greenish yellowish tint. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. All the Charlie Chaplin ones I've seen have always been black and white. There's no tint to them. Mm-hmm. I guess the yellow and whatever, the Nosferatu is like sepia. Because that's the beginning of Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. That's a different color. It's so strange. Film is so fascinating.
Isn't it, though?
It really is.
There's so many ins and outs, and, like, if you really get down to the nitty-gritty, you can talk to, like, a chemist, and they can tell you about this stuff. Like, that's what that's who you'd have to ask to understand why these things are happening.
Well, I mean, that scene in Inglourious Basterds where the film they're using is highly flammable and it fucking ignites
Sam Jackson's like, by the way, like, this is why this part of the movie's about to happen. Because it's real. It's rooted in reality.
Oh, God.
I love that movie. That's still, I think.
That's his best film, for sure.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well,
Cool. Well, this is great.
This has been great.
I hope all of you are surviving out there, depending on the results of the election.
Yeah, I haven't checked it. It's right now recording at 7:47 for me.
Yep, that's
6:47
6:47 for me.
And it's a victory for me. We're looking for a victory. Hopefully we get a victory.
I'm hoping for Jo Jorgensen. I really like her policies.
Oh, you mean limited government and during a
Yes.
pandemic and we shouldn't have health care? Fuck the fuck.
Yeah, I love people. I don't know if people actually look into her policies when they vote
They don't.
for her.
They
I think
clearly
they're just
don't.
that's what I do. Like, I'm smarter than everybody. I'm voting libertarian.
Dude, this is how I'll sum up libertarians. I've been summing them up this way. They want limited government, okay? They don't want government to affect their lives unless it's for the greater good of the people, right?
Right.
So here's my proposition. What do you guys think of guns? Well, I think people should be able to get guns. Okay, what do you think of mental health checks? Well, I mean, no, that's infringing on my rights. Okay, well, it could kill you. If someone doesn't have a mental health check and they get a gun and they shoot you, that could have been prevented by law. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy.
I mean, dude, if anything, if this pandemic taught us anything, is that people are like, I don't know, they're just entrenched in their beliefs.
Yep.
And they truly don't care if they live or die. And I don't know if it's a lack of self-awareness. I think it's just like more of a, it is what it is type situation, honestly. Mm-hmm. But that's just how some people are. And it's interesting. I don't know. I'm sure there will be hundreds of psychological studies done on this era in time within the next, several decades.
One thing that can be said about me from not going out is I'm not suicidal, so there's that.
Well, that's good.
Yep. That's one of the silver linings.
Perfect.
All right, I got to trim this. All right.
I actually like it, but anyway.
Been fun,
bye. I love you. Be
I love
safe.
you too, bud. It was good.
I love
seeing
you guys too. All the
Be
listeners.
Yep. Find my albums, stream them, or to buy them. I'll send it to you. Non-contaminated.
But yes.